Is anybody else getting tired of Morris, whatever his name is? Greetings, 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 royal family. Welcome back. So, sisters are back. I know we've been gone for a long periodically time, but we are back in this piece. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, the episode opens up. The scene is in the bank. You know, Andy, she just handed over Gary's money. And of course, Simple Sabrina and Killer Karen, they're coddling her, and it's all a whole bunch of drama. And, you know, Gary, I gotta let go, and all of this fool-la-la. Did anybody notice most of them were wearing blue? What's up with that? The blues did look nice on them, but I'm just nitpicking. Anyway, so Aaron is there. You know, he's being supportive of Gary, and, you know, Gary dramatically exits the bank, where this exchange and breakup between Andy and Gary is taking place. Nothing productive seems to take place at this bank that Maurice and Simple Sabrina work at. Like, it's always like a soap opera in the middle of the bank. Anyway, now, did y'all peep how Maurice, he asked Aaron what's going on in there? And I'm like, in where, Maurice? Like, they all in the middle of the bank. Like, what, in where? Anyway, I'm just nitpicking. Did you miss me? Okay, so the sisters, they're basically telling Andy, as usual, how horrible Gary is, so what he put her through. Tyler Perry is hell bent on Andy being this damsel in distress victim, and it is so old. Like, this is episode 13 of the second season, for Pete's sake. Like, really? Anyway, so we shift gears and we see Fatima. So she's working, and Attorney Church Shoes, I don't remember his name, it'll come to me. Attorney Church Shoes walks in, kind of like critiquing her work, something about some receipts and kind of checking up on her. Now, he wants them to start over because they dated. I guess it was a one-time thing, and he wants that old thing back. And he asked her if she's seeing somebody, and Fatima says, I'm always seeing somebody. Okay, Fatima, keep your options open, girl. Keep your options open. So then after Attorney Church Shoes leaves Fatima's new office, right, she calls Zach on the phone. You know, she kind of wants to see what's up because she kind of knows how Attorney Church Shoes gets down. So, and he did visit the house, the builder house, where Zach is putting in his sweat equity and also living, because he did move out of Fatima's place. He wanted to be independent, yada, yada. So she knows that, you know, Church Shoes is up to something. So Zach, he doesn't want any drama. You know, he wants to stay out of jail. He wants to get this money. He just does not want any drama. So Fatima is kind of questioning him about Attorney Church Shoes. So he did end up telling Fatima that, you know, Peyton is his name, what Peyton said to him. Now, remember, he basically told Zach, you know, stay away from Fatima or else you're going to end up back in jail. I'll make your life a living hell, yada, yada. So Zach is trying to stay on his P's and Q's. Now, Fatima, she assured Zach that he won't get kicked out of the program and she's going to handle Attorney Church Shoes. Now, she wants Zach to come back to her home because I guess it's getting cold in her boudoir at night, right? So Zach is just like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. It's best to keep my distance. Now, at this point, Fatima is pretty much begging Zach to come back to her place. And of course, he gives in, you know. Seems like they like each other. But now that I'm thinking about it, right, I don't trust that Fatima either. I like her character. She seems to be handling her business and she seems like she's all good for Zach. But she got scammer written all over her. I don't know why. Anyway, we shift gears to see Andy. Now, she's back at work, you know, in her new position, her new office. And she walks in her new office only to find Paris's mama/granny, whatever she is, the cleaning lady, in her office. Now, Mama wants Andy to stay away from Paris due to what happened with him and Gary. Remember, he showed up to Andy's place. Andy called him over. Gary was sitting in the living room in the dark. And then they got to tussling. And Mama said, you know, I had to patch him up. And Mama did drop a little bit of some jewels after Andy confessed that, you know, she's in love with Gary. That is, Mama said, listen, I learned a long time ago that I can be in love and not needed. I said, oh, okay. That's that old school wisdom. Trying to talk some sense into Andy for whatever reason. Everybody's coddling, and this might as well be called Andy and the Sistas. Moving along, Karen, she shows up to work in her salon to find out that her business credit card had been charged almost $6,000. Now, her assistant tells her that the charges were made by Zach, according to the credit card company. Now, my antennas went up, and all roads at this time when I was watching led to either Aaron or attorney Church Shoes, aka Peyton. I'm leaning more toward attorney Church Shoes, but it would be juicy if it ended up being Aaron. And then again, I got my good eye on Fatima, because I don't trust her all the way either. So I guess we'll find out, who racked up these charges on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. It's like, no, I'm joking. So speaking of Zach, right? He and Danny are at work, not working as usual, and he's bragging about how he's really feeling his new girl, Fatima. Now, mind you, no one knows who Fatima is. Now, the sisters, they done sat down and had drinks and dinner with her, but they don't know that this is the woman that Zach is smitten over. So he says that, he likes the way that Fatima treats him in comparison to Karen, who was calling him at this point, and he was ignoring her phone call. Now, Danny wants Zach and Karen to get back together. And I'm saying to myself, why? Is it because she's just used to them getting together? Does Danny really want Zach and Karen to get back together? Or is she enjoying all of this falling apart? I don't know. The verdict's still out on that. But Danny has a bet going, and she wants to win money. So it's all about her. So anyway, Karen, we shift gears back to that salon, and Karen is hotter than fish grease, and she is blowing up Zach's phone, but he's not answering. Now, her assistant, Karen's assistant, she asked her if she's sure that Zach did this, because it just doesn't seem right? And Karen, she's adamant that Zach is the one that did this to spite her. Now, part of me thinks that Karen wants to believe that it's Zach because she wants him to sweat her. She wants him to be the bad guy because I think she doesn't want to admit that she still loves him. So he has to be horrible, and no good in order for her to kind of put some ice on her feelings, because I think that she's still in love with Zach. Maybe she's afraid to admit it. Who knows? Shifting gears to Maurice. Gosh, his scenes are so draining. So he's in the bank. He and Jacoby, they have a stupid exchange. It's just long and drawn out. The dialogue is so remedial. Jacoby didn't know that Maurice was gay, which seemed to puzzle Maurice because he feels that Jacoby should have known because of how he looks and acts. And then I said to myself, but Mr. Tyler Perry had Calvin out here kissing men and wearing lace panties, but wrote his character as a straight man and even made Sabrina's character look foolish for assuming that he was gay. I'm confused, but Jacoby should have known that Maurice is gay. Whatever. Anyway, speaking of Sabrina, Jacoby walks into her office acting like, he needs help, but he likes her. He's basically afraid to say it, so it seems. So they're in the office chit-chat, and then in walks Calvin, who sees Sabrina in her office with Jacoby. Now, remember, Maurice and Calvin are roommates now, and they're having a little back and forth, a little spat because Calvin used Maurice's perfume. I can't. So Maurice is, picking at Calvin and being, just a mess. Maurice tells Calvin that he thinks that Sabrina wants to get in Jacoby's boxers. He says, he wears boxers, and that's a dig at Calvin because it's known that Calvin likes to wear lace panties. Anyway, that causes Calvin to storm off. So he thinks that Sabrina is just basically on to the next. Just messy. Who cares? Back to Karen. Now, I had a feeling that Karen was going to show up at that job, and did she? So guess who shows up? Karen. Killer Karen, as I like to call her. So she shows up demanding that Danny, get a hold of Zach. And Danny calls Zach on the phone, tells him, stay where you are. He's cleaning a plane. Stay where you are. Just stay where you are. She didn't even give Zach a heads up. But I said to myself, really, Danny? You're supposed to be the homie. And Karen came there and let Danny know, he racked up all this money on my credit card. You didn't even give him a heads up. Whatever. They walk on the plane that, Zach is cleaning like coal for Martin, and Karen goes off. She threatened to go to the authorities if Zach doesn't give her back her money. She accused him of charging her credit card. He has no idea what the heck she's talking about, or so it seems. Look, Zach could very well be guilty. He could have did it, but I just don't think so. It wouldn't make for a juicy storyline if indeed he did do it. That would be corny. Too easy, right? So Karen says that she regrets meeting him. So when you're mad, you're throwing these words. I regret the day that I met you. And he tells her that he should have let her go to the upper room. Remember when Jason came in Karen's apartment and almost took her up out of here, and Zach saved her life? He said, I should have let you D-I-E. I was like, ooh, this is juicy. She said that she packed his belongings in a box, which had sentimental value. I guess his grandfather must have given him some items that were still at Karen's house, and she just shoved them in a box and says, your stuff is outside or at his job somewhere or whatever. So he walks off, and Danny, she questions Karen. She's like, you really think that he would do something like this? And she's like, Danny, would you for once be on my side? Why you want Danny to be on your side? I don't know. The dynamic of their relationship is really weird how it's being written, but that's just me. Anyway, I don't think Zach made those charges. Again, it's a possibility. It's a decent plot, and I can see why Karen's character would think that Zach did it given his history. He's been to jail, and he was always short with money, and she always had to foot the bill for him. So, it makes sense why she would assume, fraud is not always easy to detect right away, right? So I get it. But if Tyler writes this storyline or this particular plot that Zach was the one that did it, that'd be corny. But I don't think so. I highly doubt it. Anyway, back to Andy. So Fatima tells her that, what's his name? Crazy Gary has been blowing up the office phone looking for her. And Andy, she asked Fatima, what does she think about all this? And I said, she better make it good. So Fatima's like, you want me to keep it real? You want me to keep it really real? I'm like, look, make it good. So Fatima tells Andy that she has worked too hard to let Gary and his wife mess up her life. She tells Andy that she needs to just basically dead all of this. Just move on, right? Andy says that she's still in love with Gary. The I can't breathe kind of love. No air kind of love. Really? How old is Andy supposed to be, girl? And Fatima, she shares her little love story, and she says that she doesn't want to ever feel like that again, which is why she dates and doesn't commit. That's what Andy said. That's why you are the way you are. Fatima said that her hair was falling out. She was losing weight. She was sick. She said she doesn't ever want to be in that position again or feel that again. Now, Andy says that she doesn't want to give up on love. She's like, I don't want to be like you, Fatima. I don't want to give up on love. And she is actually trying to give Fatima advice and telling Fatima that, she doesn't open up her heart. Imagine that, Andy giving someone advice about love. Andy goes on to say that Gary was loving, kind, sweet, and he was perfect for her. Married Gary was perfect for her, for Andy. Okay, girl, make him what you want him to be. So she proceeds to, kind of turn her nose up at the way Fatima chooses to kind of live her single life. But she did say, thanks for being a listening ear. And it's interesting now that Fatima has proven herself to be of some use to you, you showing her all this love and respect. Whatever. I guess. But Gary can get away with anything. Then for Fatima, she starts talking about, Zach, right? Saying, I found this guy and I don't know. I think I'm feeling him. But Andy doesn't know that she's talking about Zach. I'm waiting for it to be revealed that Fatima is head over heels for Zach and Zach is head over heels for her too. Because that is going to be very interesting. Anyway, we shift gears to the final scene, right? Bringing it on home here, people. Danny, she's at work. So she calls Sabrina, because this is bothering her. She doesn't believe that Zach charged Karen's credit card nearly $6,000. She just doesn't think so. So she calls Sabrina to kind of tell her about it, how Karen showed up and just mad. So they're planning to meet up as usual, having a little powwow to discuss this. And when she gets off the phone, She's approached by two white men who call her a black B word and tell her to stay away from their baby brother, Rodeo, Preston. So I'm like, oh, come on. Are we this is all Danny's character is going to be reduced to? People telling her to shut up, people saying, Danny, stop. Danny, really, Danny? And then this issue with the interracial dating with Rodeo. That's all you got, Tyler, for Danny? That's as far as her character is gonna go, huh? I guess. And that's where the episode ends. So next week we're gonna see that play out. We're gonna see Calvin's test came back, his little drug test came back that Maurice gave him. I guess how many episodes are in this season 2? Good news. I did post this on my community tab. Sistas was actually renewed for a season 3. Yay. No, all jokes aside, I'm happy for the characters. I mean, they're employed gainfully, right? And hopefully this will just grow their careers, grow their acting chops, open them up to different opportunities. I mean, it's fun to kind of poke fun at this show because yes, the writing is not great. The acting is not that great. However, I am happy for the actors in real life, so all fun and joke aside, congratulations to Tyler Perry's Sistas for being renewed for a 3rd season. So Tyler Perry better hire some writers and make this good because you got a good skeleton, you got a good shell. You just gotta up the writing, and the acting can get a little bit better in the range of the characters. But that is enough rambling for me. Let me know what you guys think of this episode. Glad to be back. Been gone for a minute, but I'm back with the jump off. Again, did you miss me? I missed y'all. So drop down in the comments, share your thoughts, share the video. Like the video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, hell, give it a thumbs down. It's a new year. Who cares? So I'm signing off, and I will be back soon. But as always, until next time, folks, peace.